But I'm going to change them from autumn sayings. I really didn't even care what they said because I thought the frames were cute, and I love the fact that these beads come with them. So I thought, I think I can turn these into more like a farmhouse type little wall hanging. So I'm going to paint. Ooh, this has actually got some, look at that. It's got some stuff on it. I'm not even sure what that is. But what I did notice when I was in the store is that this back, this little board comes out. This is actually a changeable frame. So, I may not even use that false side at all. Oh, there's something like on there, like glue or something. Because this is a little bit on the rough side. I didn't even realize, I thought this was paper. It's actually like a chipboard. So that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to use this side of it and then put it back in that way, and I'll just leave the fall thing on there. Really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to get a piece out here because I'm going to be using some chalk paint. Waverly, if I can find it. Here it is. I got some ink Waverly chalk paint. This works out really nice to use. And I'll put you back down again so you can see. Hopefully not too crooked. So anyway, I haven't totally decided what to do with these, but I thought I would use these to do a little chalkboard project. I don't know. I have this transfer. I was thinking Christmas. I have this transfer. This is a seaside transfer with Chalk Couture. If you want more information, you can go to my website. I will put that on. If you're joining me, say hey. If you watch on the replay, I'd love to hear that too. And if you have any questions, please message me. I'd love to answer any sort of questions. But anyway, I was kind of hoping that I might be able to get one or more of these on there. So, or one of these on this little thing, but it might not work. I'm not even sure. So it's all an experiment. We're going to use these Dollar Tree frames. Aren't those the cutest? I do think they're cute. And I'm going to leave them as is. They're kind of a slippery wood. I don't know. So let's see how the paint is today. I try to use the same brush for black, but I don't know. I think this is the one I use. Okay. So I'm just going to paint these and hopefully not make too big of a mess. I like this chalk. It's not chalkboard paint. It's actually chalk paint. So it's a little bit rougher, but it does cover really good. I don't even think I'm going to need a second coat on this at all. I do this on here though because I do find it is a little bit more permanent than, sorry, I need to block. So you can see. So it's, I guess we have in the forecast for tomorrow in our area. We're out here in Idaho. Kind of at the base of the panhandle. But the forecast for tomorrow is snow. Seems like a 4-letter word, but okay. So there's that one. I'll leave that. Try to even it out really nice. Trying not to get this all over my fingers. Wish me luck. Just going to shove that one aside, and I'll do the other one. I had asked on my Facebook page, if you want to join my Facebook page, is Prairie Scraps Chalkin. I also have a business page, Prairie Scraps, and but anyway, I had asked on my VIP page, the Prairie Scraps Chalkin, in 4 words, what is the best craft advice you could do? And somebody said, always make 2, and I thought that's a good one. So we're making 2 today. I often like to do things in 3. Kind of a funny thing. Sorry, I don't mean to cough into you. I caught the cold that's going around. My teenagers have had it for 2 weeks. So it's been quite the hacking cough. We've been to the doctor with it. Not really anything's helping. Even cough syrup doesn't seem to help. Doesn't seem to be anything wrong. No no, no COVID, no, no fevers. I don't know. We've been tested for COVID too. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside and hopefully not make a mess out of it. Put this, tie it up. So anyway, team has been spreading it around like crazy. So while I'm doing this, I actually thought I would be painting that autumn side, but because this back is such a nice back, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to get this dried up. Too close. Back here. Starting to get ready for craft fairs. We don't have very many around in our area. I'm also trying to get some things going. I have things for sale in my VIP group if you're wanting to purchase them directly from me. I'll ship them out. But I thought this was a fun little DIY to work on using these little frames. I don't know what size they are. I have to decide. I probably won't put these. They look like more, like a little bit more than a 5x5 maybe. Just getting this dried up. I might put a little wax on here just so that before I put my transfer on here so that it doesn't stick too hard to it. So these are brand new transfers and I don't want to wreck them on the first try. Sometimes it's better just to... Oh. There we go, getting into the paint. Always kind of messy. So I've been struggling with this. I haven't been feeling well. I haven't been on very much, but it seems like the internet is working, so I'm taking advantage of it. I just did some inking with baseball caps, DIY, and now I'm working on these little Dollar Tree frames. We'll see how these turn out. I'll use a little bit of wax on it. Like I said, the reason I use the wax is so that my transfers are silk transfer and they're sticky. And I don't want them to come off on stick so hard that they rip it. So that's why we use a little bit of wax on it. Basically, they say anything that's wood, you want to wax. See some wet parts here. Okay, so I'm gonna take my cloth. I also have the Waverly wax. Clear wax, just a little bit of this. I used it just a bit ago. I did a big board with a sled on it, a vintage sled. I did that on my business page. Let's see if we can get this spread on here. Not too much, just a little bit so it doesn't stick. It also makes it nice, so like if you, because our chalks, if you happen to make a boo-boo with your chalking, it sort of makes it so you can get it off a little bit easier. You can see this wax is kind of pulling up some of the chalk paint a little bit. So, all right, just put this on there. I don't know. I went in to wash some transfers and my hubby's sick too. Kids aren't really feeling great. We stayed home today. I like to go to church every week, but I don't want to get anybody sick. So we stayed home today. And the kids and the hubby are all playing video, like whatever that game is. I'm not into video games, so, you know, I'll let them be. Oops. I was going to buff this a little bit, but it looks like I kind of wiped it off here. And my edges are still dirty. Oh boy. Making a mess. Very quickly making a mess. All right. Let's see. I just use a baby wipe to wash my hands. Wash up after myself. I got a little on my mat. I'll get that off. This might be permanent here. The edges were all black. They were still wet. That's what you get for trying to do things quickly. So taking your time and letting it dry, you end up kind of with a mess sometimes. I am a little bit of an impatient crafter. I just like to work on projects. And like I said, I was surprised that it seems to be working on my iPad. The internet does. It's not working on my phone. I don't know why. I don't know if they're using internet in there. The company is supposed to come, I think, tomorrow, and they're replacing my satellite and all my equipment. I've only had it in for 2 months, and it's just not been working. All right, so this is the transfer. This transfer that I was going to try to use is called Christmas Spirit Phrases, and it, like I said, it is a C-size cute, and I just wanted to put like something simple on here, trying to decide what's going to work. I'm not really sure. And I'm going to do this before I pop it back in there because then I don't have to worry about the frame whatsoever. But I am going to use the frame to decide if there's enough room. That one's close. Oh, Holly Jolly fits for sure. And Believe. I might do Believe at the bottom. I like that one. I'm just kind of testing it to see if it will fit. The Let It Snow will fit, but the Snowflake will not. I like to do things in 3. Remember I said that? So I don't know how I feel about 2 trees. All right. I think I'm going to do Holly Jolly. And need my cloth here. Where did my scissors go? Oh, I lost my scissors. Okay, so Holly Jolly for sure. I think Holly Jolly and Believe. Believe could really be about anything, right? I haven't used this at all. I like to, there's just like markings where you can cut these transfers apart. You can also cut the backing so they're the same size as the backing, but I kind of like knowing like where everything goes. It's kind of like a puzzle. You can find all the pieces and you know what's missing. What I found is when I cut them up into teeny tiny pieces, sometimes they get, I don't know what's missing, what's not. Okay, so I'm getting the Believe off here. It makes kind of an icky sound, doesn't it? These are totally reusable, washable transfers. All right, I'm just gonna stick that on my cloth so I can fuzz it a little bit because we really don't want it to stick to this. I'll be using washable chalk on it today. So I'll just take it, I'll set them aside and then I'll take them into the house because I'm in my Airstream, my vintage Airstream, crafting away. Let me set this over here so it doesn't fall. Oh yeah, and I gotta decide on colors. So put that on there. So this is our fuzzing cloth. And try not to make a big mess. That out of the way. Okay. So this is a fuzzing cloth, and this just gets some fuzz off on it so that it doesn't stick too hard to it. So I think I'm gonna start with the Holly Jolly and the Ivy, and hopefully this is dry enough. Feels pretty dry. And I want to get it centered on there. And I'm sorry I'm holding this up. It actually helps me if I hold it up to the light to be able to line it up so it's centered, because I can see the shadows. Oh, too far one way. Want it straight, want it in the middle. I think that's going to be it. Just so you can see, I just have it on there. And like I said, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. No measurements here. I think I'm going to do the little berries red, this green, and then the holly jolly, I actually think I'm going to do white. So I'm going to do 3 different colors. Got the candy apple red maybe, and bright white. I haven't used this in a while, so hopefully this is okay. I have this in our line anymore, and not too bad. I think I can add some. The nice thing is it is water soluble, so you can add some water. They say to use, put this down before I make a mess. They say to use distilled water on it, so you don't have any molding or anything. But most of the time, I actually usually use up my paste so fast, especially these days. You can reconstitute them, and this one I actually stopped kind of crafting for about a year. We are foster parents, and I fostered a baby, and it was hard to craft. I did a little bit, but not a lot. So anyway, you want this to be like yogurt consistency, and our new ones don't need as much. So what you want to be able to do is, see, that's what I'm talking about, splattering. You want to be able to put your spatula in and it starts to move. And so I think I'm getting close here. And I only need it for those leaves, so it's just a little bit, little teeny bit. Nothing major here. So I'm just using what I have. Like I said, this is an old paste actually. And that's okay. That's the best thing about it, is that this stuff really lasts and lasts and lasts. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these little leaves on the ivy. And I'm going to work quick. Hopefully my candy apple red is not as mixed up, or not as bad. It might be. They were for my I signed up 3 years ago as a crafter to do chalk couture, and I just did YouTube videos and then sold my stuff. It is a little bit on the dry side. Sold my stuff at craft fairs, but I didn't tell a soul about chalk couture. I just loved how it made all my projects look just amazing. I couldn't get over it. So I signed up and I didn't tell craft fairs without telling anybody. But now, and then when COVID came and there was no, like last year, there was no craft fairs. We have some here in our area this year, so I'm kind of excited about that. I think they said they were going to have the craft fair last year, but you couldn't get your money back if they decided to cancel because of COVID. And I think it did end up getting canceled. I'm not really sure. But our local craft fair has changed hands this year. I'll have to check and see. All right. Use one of our little mini squeegees. Oh, no, mind on that one. I'm looking at it. It's super tiny, so I'm going to wash this off, I think. Red kind of stains things. That's the one thing about red. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter if it stains your transfers. It's totally okay. As long as the screen is cleared out. All right, so I'm just going to use one of our tools to get in here on this little part. Get the berries. All right. Set that aside. Get all this off. Anything extra, you can put it back in there, reuse it. Making a mess as usual. All right, so the moral of the story is, like, these chalks are 3 years old and they are still kicking. So, and like I said, I totally dried really nice and good. And then I'm going to use this one I shouldn't mix. I think I just used it. So it should be pretty good. Use one of our mini squeegees and just put it right on. There's no real rhyme or reason to this. If you you can spread butter on chalk. It's so easy. What I love is there's no like weeding or having to figure out a computer. Okay, that's the one thing. I have a Cricut. I love my Cricut. I do not like trying to figure out how to use it. And it does take up a lot of space. This really doesn't take up much space. I can pull this out, do it on the kitchen table real quick, and be done with the project super quick. You should watch my hat video, like 4 minutes for me to make a hat. So in under 10 minutes, I made 2 baseball caps, which is really cool. Okay, here we go. I'm going to leave that white out. We'll see how this turned out. Maybe I'll pull this way. You always want to pull from the center of your transfer. The reason for that is you don't want to stretch it. If you go at an angle, it'll stretch. Ooh, it's looking pretty. Looking pretty. I kind of like it. That Y looks like a little bit broken up, but that's okay. Is that pretty? So looks so nice. Okay. I'm going to set this aside and do the believe. There's one. We're going to do the believe, and I kept my white out. I'm getting it off my thing here. Like I said, I was thinking about doing it on the bottom portion. I want to make sure my believe is straight. This is such an easy project. Like, anybody can do this. A 10-year-old can do this. Or my 11. Shouldn't say 10, my 11-year-old. All right. So, I loved my Cricut. It's fun for, like, making cards. I like that you can make a whole bunch of things at a time. That's the fun part of it. But it's really hard to figure out every single time. And I don't have, like... I do, maybe I could now. I don't really have like a counter. I can leave it sit out and use it, and maybe I just need to sell it. I don't know. And I've never wanted to transfer over to one of the really computer. I know they have like all these computer programs you could do it. I don't even have a computer program, a computer that's working nicely for me. I have my iPad. It's absolutely full. I use it for piano lessons, and that's it. It's done. It's not going very well for me. My iPad, it's full, and I don't want to pay for more memory. Okay, so we're going to close that up, and we'll see how this turns out. I'm amazed every single time. Ooh, I think I want to do that B and E over again. For some reason, it's stuck in there. Do you see that? It kind of cut out in the B and E. And I don't know if it just got dry or if there was something there. So I think I need a new one. I'm just going to take you can see where it is. And now I'm getting it everywhere. I'm just going to take a wipe and wipe in that area to kind of clean it out. Try to get it out of there. And then get it off my board. Trying to keep this somewhat clean, but I am a messy crafter, so this is not a long-term thing. All right, a little piece of silk in there. I'm just going to place this on here and then very carefully press it in that area. Press it down. And then I'm going to go back over it. Hopefully I didn't wreck my squeegee. I kind of threw it on the pile of dirty ones. All right, get back in my chalk here. Ooh, I got a lump. That one might need some water. That one's a new one. Okay, we'll see how this turned out. Hopefully I did it okay. Just gonna put that stuff back down in there. It does reconstitute itself. Sometimes like your outer edge kind of gets dried up, and then you can put it back in there, mix it in, make sure it gets all nice and incorporated. All right, perfect. Perfect. That worked. Okay. Now set that aside. Isn't that the cutest? I know it's backwards, but All right. I'm going to shut that up. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of water on it. I like to do this. I'll put a little bit of water just to sit on the top, and then I'll incorporate it, kind of loosen it up. So next time I use it, it'll be working while I'm not looking. That's the best part, or while I'm not working on it. Okay. So we've got those two made. I think we've had some time here for this to... And the thing about this is farmhouse look. So I don't think you're gonna have to do, I don't think I need to do much else to it to make it fun and cute. I do have, I don't know what was all over that. Good thing I had an option to use the other side. So, I mean, I guess you could use it for fall if you wanted, but I'm using it. There it is. Holly Jolly. Isn't that the cutest little farmhouse Christmas? I'll get my Believe out here. This one, I trying to think of what I may use this one. Hold on a second. Sorry to walk away. I actually think I'm going to dress it up a little. Can you believe that? Before I put it in, I'm going to go ahead and tie around the middle here. Just a little piece of ribbon. Nothing fancy, but I think it'll be really cute and somewhat simple. Just like that. Isn't that cute? Little candy cane ribbon. This is totally Dollar Tree too. I've had this for a while too. I love Dollar Tree for ribbon. This doesn't have wire, so there is no forming it. But I think that will be just adorable. A little shorter here. Put that away. You see it? Now I'm going to put it back in here. Make sure this is even. And then these little tabs for these wooden beads. You know, wooden beads are not cheap. So the fact that these already are on these little frames really saves on this project. I don't have to do anything. There. Isn't that the cutest? I think it is. So, so cute. All right, there it is. Both of my projects, under a half an hour, so cheap. This was my Dollar Tree. They both have little bead hangers. Aren't they the cutest? I'd love to hear what you think, so please comment below. Let me know on the replay. Make sure you subscribe and follow me and give me a thumbs up so that I can keep doing this. It helps, every little bit helps me out. So thanks for joining me.